Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I'm Paula from Moxy Mojo. Thank you for joining me for today's prompts for Junk Journal January 2024. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it or not, but it's kind of late at night and I'm trying to catch up on my prompts, but unfortunately my neighbours have decided that tonight they'd like to have a rather loud party. So you may hear some music in the background. Unfortunately, I have no control over that. They have control over the volume. Still, we will try to plug along because I want to get this prompt done. Now, yesterday was the daily log. Now, Paula, I'd just like you to read out point number 1 for us again. Number 1, don't forget to date your creations. And what did I forget to do? Date my creation. Obviously, I am not going to learn on this one in a hurry. So, it was the 5th of January, 5th of the 1st, 23. Daily log. I think that's all I need. Yeah, I'll remember it. No, and it's not even 23. It's 24. Seriously, Paula. I think we need to have that as number 5. Double check you've dated your creations. Anyway, so what is today's actual prompt? So today's the 6th and the prompt is memory. Now, I had no idea what on earth I was going to do for this. As I was mulling through ideas, I thought, okay, well, let's print out a photograph. That will do as a memory. Instead, I finally got one of my hard drives to work, an external hard drive that has been misbehaving for some time. So I thought, rather than do what I'm supposed to be doing, so let's copy across all the photos while I've got access to it and it's working. It's now been some 7 hours later and it's still not finished. And unfortunately, this means that I can't plug my printer in order to be able to print out the photographs. So I've had to get a little bit creative as usual. So I was running through some of my memories, looking at photos while they were copying across. And I thought, well, what's a memory that really kind of stands out in my mind? And one thing that really sticks in my head was when I was 15, I finally got glasses. And it was coming up for my 5th form exams, which was our 3rd year at high school here in New Zealand. And I didn't want to wear them in school, but I had to for the exams. So I would sneak them in with me into the exam hall and then put them on and sit my exam so that I could see the time to see how far I had left to go during the exam. And then as soon as the exam would finish, I'd whip them off and then I'd put them on for when I got home to carry on and that sort of thing. But what I remember even more than that was the day I actually got my glasses. And my mother was driving me home from the optician, and I can remember distinctly saying to her, "Mum, I can see blades of grass." individual blades of grass as we drive down the road. I can see individual leaves on trees. And my mother said to me, I have never felt so horrible of a mother, because I didn't realise that your eyesight was so bad. And I mean, I just took it for granted that these patches of green were grass. I knew what they were from walking on them, and from like if I sat down and was that much closer, not that I'm that tall, but you know, sitting on the grass I could physically see the blades of grass, but standing up or looking out the window, it was just a patch of grass. So that is such a very real and very sensory memory to me that I wanted to kind of celebrate or memorialise, whatever the appropriate word is, that particular memory. So I thought, well, okay, I haven't got access to photos. How am I going to do this? I'm not going to draw. I can't draw that well enough. But, okay, I'll look through some magazines, because I knew I had a stencil, and this is the stencil I've got. It's a Donna Downey signature stencil, and this is called Donna's Glasses DD006. So Donna's Glasses DD006. Now the date on this is copyright 2014, so that's 10 years ago. I doubt you can get this anymore. You may find someone who's had it in their shop since, you know, for the last 10 years, but I highly doubt it. So you'll just have to hope that you know someone who's got it in their stash of stencils. I fell in love with it because I wear glasses. I thought it was very cool. So what I've done is, I don't want every set of glasses, and I'm only going to use sort of the right hand. It's late, okay? The right hand 2 columns of glasses, hence on why I'm ignoring this one, but only 2 columns will actually fit in here. So what I've done is I've taped off some of the glasses to leave me what I want to stencil in here. So that was my starting point, and I thought, well, okay, maybe in this lens part I could put some images of grass and leaves to show, hey, look, this is what I can see. But then by pure happenstance, by pure chance, I happened to find a couple of images. Now these were on 2 separate pages in a magazine, and they are considerably chopped down. But what appealed was that the image is blurry. So I thought that is just absolutely perfect for demonstrating this memory. But I'm not quite sure how we're going to do this. So I think what I want to do is, and I've like kind of trimmed them down to shape, and I've torn off this central edge while waiting for the music to turn down. Yeah, like that's going to happen anytime soon. So I thought, okay, well, if I adhere this onto the page, and I just want to, now that I know roughly where I'm going, I'll just trim this out a little bit more. But then and then I'll put this one over the top just because they are perfectly blurry, and then we will carry on. So I'm just going to, so we need up to that one there, I think. So all I've done is just kind of fussy cut around the trees very roughly to try and trim this so that it didn't have a harsh line when it came to sitting on my page, because this was actually, it was like an extract from a book, and the writing kind of came right up into here, so it wasn't like I could cut a nice straight thing, and if I cut it across, then all I was going to get was like this little wee patch here. So it's like, okay, well, how can I make it work? So we've got this here, we've got this bit on top here. So if I like glue that down to about there, and if I do a little wee, so that's going to take me up to there, yep. So if I do a little wee pencil mark, so I know that as long as it goes to there, then we should be good. And if I do a little wee pencil mark about here, so if I know so long as it's not there, then we'll be good. So I'm just going to trim this kind of across there. Then I know it's not 100%, I need to still trim it some more, but that's close, pretty close. Right, so now we're not gluing on top of our book today, our journal, because we learnt our lesson. Or no, thankfully I didn't get any glue on there when I was gluing that, but still I just was not happy about it. And now that I've just glued up there where we're not actually going to be sticking it down, but we are roughly doing over here, following this really suspicious trimming line, and down the side, that's my torn edge, this is my trimmed edge. Trying to talk over the muse. If nothing else, I'll be chatting a lot this post. Okay, so gluing all in here, covering the man who got swallowed by hippopotamus while he was on holiday. I didn't read the story, I just read the headline. And I tell you what, I really struggled to find images of grass. And in the end, it was a paint magazine. I've signed up for one of a magazine from, because my husband and I, we went looking for some paint for Justin. Went looking for some paint or something. Paint or wallpaper at local, it's not a hardware shop, it's a paint shop. The Resine paint shop here in Pepakura in Auckland. And of course signed up for, keep us notified of any sales or stuff. And so I get sent their magazine on a however frequently basis it comes out. Okay, so now this one I'm not keeping extended, so no, I think I need smaller scissors for trimming this across. So I it's called the Habitat magazine, and so I get this sent to me, and it's got like interesting colour schemes and, you know, designerly pictures, so I keep them because it's also good quality. And so I look through it every now and then for useful pictures to include or to cannibalise or claim as my own, you know, things for using in art journals and that type of thing. And that was the best place I found for pictures of grass and trees. So I thought, yep, that will do me. Okay, so now it's a bit uneven, but you know what? That's okay. I think it's kind of the glue down on magazines, and I might need to, like the other night, leave this sitting open to dry fully overnight, because, you know, these magazine pages, these are out of just like women's magazines, not the actual resin one. That's some of the other grass pictures, but this is pretty thin, so yeah, the glue's kind of going through it and bubbling it a wee bit, and that's why I just think I'll keep the page open to dry overnight, especially as I'm going to put paint on it as well. You know, let's make things twice as bad. Right, so now where's my edge of there's my edge of the paper. No, you're supposed to be cooperating. Them's the rules. Oh, at least the music that they're playing is stuff I like. So I can't complain too much about the music. Right, so if this picture looks out of focus, it's because it is. It is a blurry image, both of these. Alright, so pin back in there again. Now, this is where the fun starts. So we want tissue. Now I've got I call it a stencil brush. It's according to the pack, an Art Basics dabbing brush set, but great for stencils. So this should still be available. It's item 965228, Finnabar Art Basics dabbing brush set from Prima Marketing. So it's, if you're looking for a stencil brush, they've got a flat head or flat bristles, and they tend to be a lot harder because you like pounce the brush up and down. So I think we'll move you out the way just in case. Now we're going to put you over here because we're going to dab some black paint on top. So now I'm using a Liquitex Professional Soft Body Acrylic in Mars Black. I thought I'd use this for a change. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to grunt then. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my craft mat. Now this is quite liquid, but that's okay. So I'm just going to dab a little bit onto my brush. Make sure all the bristles are covered, and then because I don't want too much, don't want it like going underneath. And now I've got what is it, washi tape, a very weak washi tape at that, over these sets of glasses that I don't want to paint or stencil. Yeah, that looks quite good. And we'll see how well my idea has worked or not. And if not, then I have to go back to the drawing board. Right. Okay, do we want to add any more paint before we remove this? Or are we going to take a chance? Let's take a chance. Take a chance on me. Okay. Okay, come on, lift off. Oh, you can't see those ones there until you hold the page, but when you do, not bad. Okay, it is only that one style of, oh no, that one's a wee bit blurry, but that looks really cool. That looks really cool. Okay, I can live with the blurry glasses. I don't mind at all. So I will let that paint dry, or maybe I'll clean it off, but for now it's just going to the side. Right. Okay. That looks pretty cool. Alright, now put you in the water department. Yes, I have one of those in my studio. And it's currently, well, it was empty of brushes until right then. Now, that looks like it's pretty much dry already with all my blathering and blah, 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 blah. Yakking. Right, so now, I'll just, to be sure, set that over there. Now, what I've done is I traced around the inside of my stencil and then cut this out to basically give me the, so it's what I need for the glasses. So we have a little wee scissors, and we have, here are my clippings of trees and grass and flowers and more grass and some more grass that goes up that way, I remember from the picture, and trees. And so what I thought I'd do is I would draw around this. So I've got to do 4 of this size, 3 and 3, and that will fit my glass lens. So because I don't want to bore you to death with me fussy cutting this, and trust me, it will be painful because I am not a fan of fussy cutting. I just struggle with it. This is my kryptonite, okay? So I'll come back to you and it will magically all be done. I'll be right back. Okay, so everything has been fussy cut and placed where I want it to go. So now I just need to glue my lenses in, so to speak. So now these are not exact, but they're good enough. But I do, just by the look of that, need to be a little bit careful with how much glue I put on, because again, the heat, the glue spreads. So I'm just trying to put it into the middle of each lens and then let it spread out naturally from there. But on the face of this, I think it looks really cool. Okay, so here we are. That looks really cool. And you can see, depending on the angle that you are looking at it, the glasses kind of stand out or not. So what I'm going to do, I think, is go around the outsides with my white Sharpie paint pen. It's an extra fine point, and I got this actually from Jane Davenport Art Supplies, and it is the best white paint pen I've come across, and I wish I could get some more. So I'm just gonna do one, and then again I'll come back and show you what they look like, because it's not exactly going to be scintillating viewing. So here we go. And especially as it looks like I'm going to have to go over this line a couple of times to make it stand out. I might kind of do it. I think I will do it kind of sketchy, because I like the way that looks. And that way it also doesn't matter if I'm not exactly in the right place. Yeah, just got to see where this one ends up, because I can't see it properly. Oh, there we go. So there we go. And in fact, if I kind of go, whoops, just put my finger on it before it was dry. And I just kind of go like this, that will make that look even better. So then I think I'm going to have to do like 2 layers, but I want to try and let one dry maybe, or just go over the top. And let's just go over the top. There we go, that's looking kind of cool, even if I did put my finger in it. And that makes it stand out a lot more. I like that. Okay, I'll come back once this is all done. Unfortunately, my Sharpie did not last the distance. I think it is out of paint. I need to get a new one, see if I can find one. Anyway, so I've had to go over it with this. It's called Painters. I picked it up in the US when we were there 8 or 10 years ago now, so I don't know if you can still get it or not. But let me just say, trying to do this smaller line with a nib this size, that's a chisel, is very difficult. So now I'm just going to do my title to finish off. Now these are water-based markers that I got from Daiso. They're the Daiso brand. I can't tell you more than that, other than they've got one end is a marker end, the other is a fine nib. So that's all I can tell you about that. So now what is the official name of this prompt? So this was memory. So what I'm going to do is use the marker end of this and just try to, I'm basically just going to write that in this blank and sort of fill in the space and then go from there. Hopefully that is dry. That's my last one. So we will just go just filling this in. So memory. And now I'm going to go back to, back in the days, how I would have done my titles for my school projects. And just going around my letters. Which is throwback again, even though that was a couple of days ago. But, we are talking memories here. So it only seems fitting that this is how our title should look. And, we're making everything fit. And to be honest, it's my journal. I'll do what I want. How many times am I going to say that this month? And just for good measure, let's put some black around it as well. And this is just something I do if I'm doodling. Just wanting to fill up the space. And we'll just do that because we don't want any extra space. And why not? So yep, just filling in the space to make it look time period relevant. And yeah, so that is pretty much this prompt. Whoops, that's a bit of a mess. A little triangle in there and round. Did anyone else used to do this, or is it just me? Was this a thing that us Kiwi kids used to do? Whoops, that should have been a blue one. Never mind. It can be black. Fill in all the space. Nice and relaxing. Right, there we go. So, memory. I was thinking about putting the story in there somewhere along the way, but obviously there is no room for that. So we will just have to go with my memory being the memory. And because I remember, where am I going to put the date? Alright, so let's put it. Oh, can we fit it in here? What day is it? 6th. So we're going to go 6th of Jan. There we go. Look at that. We remembered to put the date. Right, I'm going to sit this to dry. Look how full those pages are. Did we learn anything today? No, I did make sure to keep everything inside the page. I did remember to date. And there's no butterflies or flowers, so that's a piece of cake. Okay. I'm happy with that. Right. Must be time to try and get some sleep. Okay. I will see you back in the studio for the next prompt. Bye for now.